Hello, I'm Michelle Wather,
Hi, I'm Brianna Smith.
and we are talking about lesson 5.1 on the job learning competencies artifact. And we're discussing the 4 primary domains of disposition for authentic learning experiences and teacher training regarding relationships, strategies, tools, accommodations, and modifications. We're talking about open-mindedness, self-reflection, curiosity, and educational equity. So when I think about open-mindedness regarding this, I think about fostering a cross-cultural interactions, connecting with individuals from diverse backgrounds and cultures within the classroom. It can be advantageous for all students. This might involve engaging in activities that encourage exploration of different perspectives, role-playing various scenarios, or participating in debates on educational topics. Such interactions can provide opportunities for empathy, helping students comprehend the complexities faced by different individuals and families. Additionally, they can spark conversation that enhance students' understanding of various cultures, languages, and family dynamics. This approach also educates students about diverse learning styles and levels. So what do you think about that?
I definitely agree. I think that is very important. It shows that we're valuing students' backgrounds, but it's also helping students develop empathy and understanding of others and being able to think about things in a more diverse and differing ways.
Awesome. And then we're talking about self-reflection can go beyond teaching in the classroom. It can be encouraging for a new teacher to write in a journal to document daily experiences, thoughts, and observations, especially what went well and what could be improved. New teachers can use notes to help with specific lessons, student interactions, good or bad, or challenges encountered. Teacher training programs in schools can support new teachers in developing strong reflective habits, leading to improved teaching practices, increased self-awareness, and enhanced student learning outcomes.
Taking that moment to reflect on the things that are happening, and I think it's important to do that, whether it's good or bad or somewhere in between, and to always be just thinking of it critically and looking for ways of either continuing something that went well or making adjustments for the future.
Awesome. We're talking about curiosity and authentic learning experiences enables new teachers to connect educational content to real-world contexts, fostering a sense of purpose and discovery among students. For instance, exploring real-world issues can involve addressing challenging related to student behavior or designing hands-on lessons that help students grasp complex concepts. Collaboration with colleagues and engaging in deeper critical thinking contribute to making the learning experience meaningful and positive.
Yeah, and it's all about asking those questions and being able to have the opportunity to explore and see if they can find the answers to those questions is definitely valuable and brings a lot of strengths to lessons in the classroom.
Mm-hmm. I believe it's important to give them the opportunity, like open-ended questions
Mm-hmm.
to ask, why are we learning this? Why did that happen? Who did it? Where? All those
Mm-hmm.
questions.
Absolutely.
It opens that up to their curiosity so that way they can want to learn more.
Mm-hmm.
The educational equity, I believe, is for enhancing teaching practices and fostering professional growth. New teachers can learn to promote educational equity by understanding the diverse backgrounds of their students, implementing inclusive teaching strategies, and advocating for fair policies and resources. This involves recognizing and addressing systematic barriers to learning, creating an inviting classroom environment, and ensuring that all students have access to the support that they need to succeed. By actively participating in these learning experiences, new educators can cultivate the knowledge, skills, and dispositions necessary to establish equitable and inclusive learning environments where every student can thrive.
Yes, absolutely. Especially within special education, we're trying to give that access to the learning. Students are different and have different things happening inside of themselves, and so trying to level that playing field somewhat and giving them access to learning new things and mastering new things is very important and crucial.
Yeah, very true. And then we need to talk about the reflect on what will be crucial for keeping your implementation plan on course and achieving SMART goals. And I added 2 original discussion questions. And number 1 would be, how can classroom learning be connected to real world situations relevant to students' learning abilities?
So as far as connecting, to real world situations, it's, thinking about, like, I try to think about, like, what is it that this student is going to encounter, maybe right now in the short run, but even in the future, as like right now we're teaching middle school students, what are they going to encounter in high school as a high school student or as a college student or as a person in the workforce, and try to discuss some of those situations and to the extent possible bring some of those situations in the classroom.
I thought that was a really nice thing to ask, because of where the students go to a store and they're learning about how to budget, how
Yes.
to spend money. That was kind of neat how that works. And I think that that's part of being where you're including those kids to be real life situations where they get to go to the store and they get to spend, and they say, okay, if this box of crackers costs $4 and I only have 3, then I can't buy it. Or if I want to buy this candy, I only have $2, but it's $1.75, then I can. So I really liked that is offered through this school, and that the kids can do that experience. So that was something awesome that I think the school offers to students.
It is a great thing. Yes.
The second question is, how can a new teacher tap into students' interest aligning with grade level standards and lessons?
I think this really, as a new teacher learning the standards, trying to teach the standards, it can feel very overwhelming at first. So there is, I understand that there is that natural focus on the standards, but I think it's like we were talking about earlier, is allowing for that curiosity. It does require some open-mindedness, that when listening to students, when they ask questions and realizing that, oh, this is a different direction that we could go, or we could explore a little bit, and working on those student relationships, so that as the year goes on, that becomes a little bit more embedded, and that you already know the students and can take those interests into account as you're designing the lessons.
I think that would be the hardest thing for me to do, is finding, you have the standards that you have to write the lesson on. I'm not sure how that works yet, so I'll be excited to learn about how that works, and then just kind of bringing it down to their level. What's going to be beneficial for them to learn this lesson that I want them to learn.
Right.
So I think that's just part of, being a teacher and learning relationships between you and your students, to know what their abilities and know what their strengths and their weaknesses are.
Right.
So that way you can work on what they need to be more stronger in that
Absolutely.
academic strength.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We got this done, so we're moving on to the next one. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.